On this week's This Must Be the Place, we're going to talk about Rondo. Ron-diddly diddly do, as Ned Flanders would say.
He would.
Old Rondo. And if you don't know, now you know.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place.
I think next week's neighborhood watch should be Orono because your NBA takes are boring, yo.
So that was more of a rhyming thing. That's pretty good. Oh, yeah, Osceola, because I see a whole lot of shit coming out of your mouth. Is that how you read it?
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not at first, but then I reread it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's clever.
Yes.
Hello, and welcome to This Must Be the Place, the only Twin Cities real estate and real estate adjacent podcast where one of the hosts recently sold a house to the lead singer of Husker Du and thought it was hilarious that he asked for a mold inspection. No, you don't get it?
No. Not even. I don't even remember.
You don't know any of those words?
No. I know the group, not because I know anything about them, nor could I name a song, nor if I heard their most popular song would I know it was them, nor I could pick any of them out of a lineup. It's just because like people
they formed at McAllister, brother.
Husker Du, except they said Husker Du.
They're from your lineage of university. College.
Yeah, college.
What's the difference between a college and a university?
Size? Grad school, possibly?
You're putting question marks at the end of these answers. I have no idea.
Size? Grad school?
Ratio? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you know, hit us up. This must be the place pod@gmail.com. Tell us the difference between university and college.
Tell us if you know Husker Du. We should have a poll.
Talk to us.
We'll put a poll out.
So Husker Du. So you You go to niche Twin Cities, bad niche Twin Cities, and realestatepuns.com. You don't really, but that's how I came up with it. The lead singer of Husker Du, who went to McAllister from St. Paul, his name's Bob Mold. Hence the mold inspection.
I think I know Bob Mold.
Yeah.
Not as a person, but the name. I think
you might have met him. That's part of the reason I wanted to say that bad joke is because I wanted to ask you if you've met him because I hero worship certain musicians.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
As you know.
You do.
Right. Paul Westerrig being the shining bright star example.
You know, the Replacements were at one time thought of as...
Don't say it.
The Twin Cities Beatles.
I thought you were going to say the Goo Goo Dolls.
No, that's right. They are like fucking...
No, we're not.
They're like...
We're not doing it.
Aggressive Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, my God. Serenity now.
I'm just going to get under your skin today. We're going to talk all things Timberwolves and how Ant will forever be known as the second best player out of his draft class, and how Rudy RFK Gobert Jr. Is not a good basketball player. The people don't like
to hear us talk about basketball.
You're right.
My wife reiterated that again this morning.
You're right. She was like, I think we should change the whole description of the pod.
To
just the only Twin Cities podcast. Let's just get rid of the real estate and real estate adjacent. I mean, of course, there are other podcasts, possibly more successful podcasts.
Only often.
But but they're not this.
The only Twin Cities podcast where one of the hosts recently sold a house to the lead singer of Husker Du and found it funny that he asked for a mold inspection because his name is Bob Mold.
Yes.
Which you didn't know.
Yes.
I would have thought you would have met Bob Mold at some point.
No,
you're a musician. No. You were a musician. You're still in the music industry. I know it's a different genre than you. You know, they're kind of like hardcore punky guys.
They're not Goo Goo Dolls.
I mean, they came up the same time as the Replacements in the late 70s. But they were the St. Paul version of the Replacements, kind of. I mean, that's That's
it just didn't do it for me, man. They weren't
reductive.
It's not aggressive enough to be like aggressive.
Husker Du's not aggressive enough to be aggressive.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I was talking about the replacements. Like
early replacements is aggressive enough, I think, for you.
Yeah, I just maybe I haven't heard it. Yeah.
Well, you're not going to start now. So
like John Cicada.
It's just like John Cicada. I wanted to start this episode. With
a Bob Mold joke?
With some housekeeping. I almost said house cleaning.
House cleaning tips?
Some errors and omissions. For maybe past listeners, I was made aware that when we talked to Dwayne Davis, I was made aware by a listener who shall remain nameless.
Your ex-wife?
Not my ex-wife.
Your daughter.
That we, during my interview with Dwayne Davis, I referred to his church not as Plymouth Congregational Church, but as Plymouth Congressional Church, which it is certainly not.
It's because he was a congressional staffer.
Yeah.
I think
my mind is going a mile a minute at any given time, so I'm going to fuck up.
And it's a podcast. If actual news organizations can be loosey-goosey with the facts and just make up whatever they want.
More and more,
We certainly can say...
Or the Speaker of the House, politics.
Yeah, agreed. There's just...
If we mess up a word, or my other error and omissions, if Casey messes up and says we've had 100,000 downloads of our podcast...
I did.
He was off. He was off by about 98,000.
I did the math. I did the math wrong. I did the math.
I don't know what math you were doing.
So
I can just picture you with like one of those visors with like the clear green, and you have like an abacus, and you're doing math.
In my mind, I look at 1,000. I'm like, 1,000 downloads, and this is what it was. We're well beyond that now.
Yes,
or almost over 2,000.
2,000 downloads,
and it's supposed to constitute 5 to 10% of your listens.
Yes,
from what I understand.
Yes.
So in my mind, I'm like, 10% of 100,000 is 1,000. Clearly, that's
you did
not
your math wrong.
The case, right?
Right.
The other day, I was talking with we were like watching TV, and my daughter was like, "How many millions are in a billion?" And so we got down this kind of path.
It's 1,000, right?
1,000 millions in a billion.
Yeah.
Yes. But we got to a point where it was like, how many billions are in, or like how many millions are in a billion for some reason. That was the question that came out. And my wife said 100 million. And we all just stopped and like looked at each other and just started laughing. We were like, she just kind of stopped and like thought about it for a second.
She was like, oh wait, that's a real number.
No, that didn't compute. Math can be challenging sometimes.
For some.
Not for you.
I'm built different, as we all know.
You don't use spreadsheets or calculators or...
It's all up here.
Yeah?
Yep.
How many times have you gone to closings and had that bite you in the ass? You said on our net sheet we were going to make $1 billion.
Didn't carry the one. Anyway, so Husker Du. Great band. Go check them out.
Was that directed at me or the listener?
What?
Or both?
Oh, no, the listeners. Both. Whoever wants to listen to Husker Du.
How do you spell it?
H.
Yeah.
U with an umlaut.
With an umlaut.
It's 2 dots.
Yeah.
Like in Lowenbrow and Motley Crue.
Yeah. Okay.
SKER space, capital D.
Yeah.
Another U with an umlaut.
Okay. So what does it mean?
No idea.
You don't know what it means?
No.
Okay. I mean, if they're McAllister kids, they're like... either pretending to be smart or really, really smart. It means something.
It's only one or the other.
Yeah.
I think at least two of them were McAllister kids. I know Bob Mold was.
Yeah.
All right. We should probably stop talking about Bob Mold.
Yeah.
We're losing him.
Rondo?
Yes.
And now, This Must Be the Place presents Neighborhood Watch.
What is Rondo?
What is Rondo?
For those of you who aren't familiar with the name.
Yeah, because normally
probably a lot of people.
Yeah, when we do, especially if people are new to the area or have only lived in Minneapolis, maybe they've
Minneapolitans.
Yes, if they've heard fleeting the word in the ether somewhere, but they didn't know what it meant. So normally on Neighborhood Watch is it's more of an idea.
It is at this point. It really is
because we did a Neighborhood Watch on Minnehaha Falls.
Yeah,
we did a Neighborhood Watch on Taylor's Falls.
It started out as like let's highlight a neighborhood, but then it became like let's do a feel.
Let's do a feel, and we're running out of neighborhoods. Whichever one you want to pick.
Yeah, and so it's like either start seriously moving to the suburbs,
right?
Which is fine,
but
boring. Which is fine.
It's less interesting is how we're going to phrase it.
Or widen the definition of what a neighborhood could be.
It's our podcast. We can make it whatever we want. Yeah, so Rondo.
Next Neighborhood Watch, we should do it about electric vehicles.
Neighborhood Watch on electric vehicles. Yeah, it could be anything we want.
Okay, cool.
So Rondo is no longer a neighborhood. I mean, there's the idea of it, and there's people that remember it. But Rondo
it's split into multiple.
Yeah, Rondo was a neighborhood in St. Paul for a long, long time.
1800s to the
1960s.
Yeah.
In St. Paul, in and around what is now Highway 94, and we can talk about that in a bit, between Lexington Avenue to the west, Western Avenue to the east, University Avenue to the north. And here's where we get a little... And I contend, based on my research for this episode, that Marshall Avenue to the south, and Casey's research tells him it is...
Selby Avenue. So there is definitely a gray area in terms of how people want to define it. The Minnesota Historical Society defines it as Selby.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of sort of interviews with people from the old neighborhood and some documentaries that were made say that Marshall was the cutoff street. You'll have some maps of the neighborhood which extend to Selby, and you'll have some maps of the neighborhood that
cut it off
at Marshall. Either way, you're talking about like a 2-block difference, right? Marshall, Dayton, Selby.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it really doesn't matter too much, I don't think. But you get the basic area that it was in.
Yeah, and we each kind of did our own little prep for this episode on Rondo, so I'm interested to see...
Are you kidding me?
If we...
Nobody hit the record button.
You're kidding.
Nope.
For all that?
For all that. I got that again. It's fine. I made that work last time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make it work again.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Voila, the sound is better.
Oh, the sound is better.
It's just not working well recently.
Your brain?
Yeah.
What with the forgetting of keys and...
Yeah, it's seeming like I thought running would make my mental acuity a little better.
You would think so.
Instead, it's just been a litany of fuck-ups. Is that a good way to say it?
Yeah.
In fact...
A litany of fuck-ups is
good. Is that the episode name?
I think it
Rondo,
is.
The old Rondo community, a litany of fuck-ups.
I mean, yeah.
You know, like, it would still exist if but for a litany of fuck-ups.
Very true.
Yeah.
But not fuck-ups because they were all intentional.
Sure,
like,
but...
You're talking about unintentional.
Yeah, well, mine are
Yours
unintentional.
Are unintentional.
But look back on it.
Yeah.
You know, in retrospect, I would say that that there were fuck-ups.
But what I was saying is we each kind of did our own prep for this episode on Rondo, so I'll be interested to kind of hear what your thoughts are versus what my thoughts are, both on what we read and like we were talking about, even the bottom definition, the southernmost definition of Rondo, we got different things on. So
the southernmost definition.
The southernmost definition.
I like that.
Yeah.
Y'all.
But as many things, the Rondo neighborhood itself was kind of produced out of racism, as many things in this country, right?
Sure. I think
because of racial covenants.
I think every neighborhood in this whole country is
correct.
Somewhat.
But Rondo for sure, because of specific racial covenants written into mortgages and redlining and all the things we talk about that are no longer legal. What I think at its peak, 85% of the black population of St. Paul in the 50s lived in Rondo.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And despite all of the legal challenges that led the Rondo community to live there, it was a super duper thriving middle class community where within those parameters where 94 is now, because obviously there was no highway then, and there was local businesses and schools and churches and there was a bunch of, it was mostly single family homeowners.
There's a great quote to that end.
Hit it.
Earl Wilkins of the St. Paul Echo, which was an old St. Paul
related
newspaper.
to Roy Wilkins, I bet.
Possibly.
I bet.
Possibly. Roy Wilkins was who?
He lived in Rondo.
And was the leader of the NAACP.
Yes.
Just one of many sort of high-profile black artists and intellectuals that grew up in the Rondo neighborhood. But he said if New York has its Lenox Avenue, Philadelphia, it's Wiley Avenue, Kansas City, it's 18th Street, and Memphis, it's Beale Street, just as surely has St. Paul a riot of warmth and color and feeling and sound in Rondo Street. Although it was Rondo Avenue, I think, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Rondo Ave, yeah.
So
hell yeah, that's great.
It's a pretty good quote.
I did not come across that.
And it speaks to what you're talking about. Just it was, you think of what do you think of when I say Black Wall Street?
Tulsa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And what they did to it, right? They just dropped bombs on it. Yep. And Black Wall Street was a thriving sort of, I think, light for African American communities in the entire nation.
Yeah.
Right?
It was. A beacon, some would say.
Yeah. And every city, lots of cities had those, right? Harlem, Lenox Avenue, perfect example, right? And St. Paul, Rondo was that, and it was thriving, and it was self-oiling and self-sustaining because a lot
self-oiling.
Yeah, right? That was
no, I get it. It's just
self-oiled, right? It was a well-oiled machine.
For sure.
And the reason it was that way is because a lot of the people that resided in the Rondo community weren't welcome to go shop somewhere else.
Right.
Right? Like you could buy a suit in Rondo. You could buy your groceries in Rondo. You could go to school. You could see a play. You could have community. Like it was all there because it had to be.
Because it had to be.
And because it had to be, and because it was a self-sustaining thing to where you didn't have to look outside of the community.
Yep.
Food deserts didn't exist, right? Like you didn't need to drive to the fucking Target. Or Dayton's or Fudd Ruck, whatever. What was that place you called
Donaldson's.
Donaldson's.
Old Billy Donaldson.
So, yeah, in that respect, when they decided to what amounted to drop a bomb on that neighborhood, aka put 94 going straight through the middle of it, they erased that whole legacy, and it's only through some of the community elders who at this point are fucking old that remember living there that history is sort of being written down and told through stories, so you don't forget.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I think the main thoroughfare was called St. Anthony Avenue, and that ran parallel to Rondo Avenue.
Yes.
And that was the rationale of white male lawmakers to put a highway there because it connected to Minneapolis.
Yeah, and you look at that. When you look at maps of that era and like specific red line maps, you'll see like starting over by where like your Russo's is on the east side. It'll be like the maps will have sections drawn, and it will say Italians, Jews, and then like a lane where 94 is now that said on these maps like Negroes.
Yeah.
Right? And so there were two plans, right? The northern plan, which was to go north by the railroad tracks.
North of University, yeah.
Which there's nothing there, right? That's where Pierce Butler is.
Yeah.
Which you could have got to Minneapolis that way, right? You wouldn't have had to tear down houses. It wouldn't have affected any street level stuff. Or eminent domain. Yeah. This is the federal government's choice at the time, but it was done with cooperation from St. Paul city government.
For sure. City planners. Yep.
And it displaced, what was it? 800 homes?
400 homes.
I think I read higher.
See, this is what we read.
Yeah, I thought they said 600 to 800 homes.
Maybe were affected, but from what I read, it was 400 homes were destroyed to make way for 94, and 300 of those 400 were black-owned homes.
And then I guess businesses too, right? So maybe that's they were just talking about buildings in my research.
For sure.
But either way, like
they called it urban renewal.
That's right. We're gonna renew it. Now get the fuck out.
Yep.
And you had some people, who welcomed it. Some people within the community who welcomed it because Rondo was older houses, right, built in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And some people were like, I can't wait to let this thing go pay me. Let's get out of here. And you had some people, there's a story and a picture, a newspaper article of a boy sitting on his front porch with a shotgun being like, fuck no.
Yeah.
This is ours.
Yeah.
We own this.
Yeah.
And what was considered a win at that point was the fact that neighborhood community organizations got them to bury 94.
Right.
Or make it sub street level.
Subterranean.
Much like we talked about the Greenway.
Greenway. Yes, you were right.
Yeah.
A couple of Rondo community leaders, like it was a good W for them, but unfortunately that was the best of their W's, is that they dug a trench
it was,
for 94.
The Reverend Floyd Massey and Timothy Howard.
Yeah.
In 1955, because they thought it would lessen the burden and the disruption to the neighborhood, and it probably would have. I mean, if they had to build that straight across, maybe it takes out a whole other block. And it's double the amount of homes, 800 to 1,200 homes or something like that.
Well, and I hit up Bill Lindeke, who I've known on and off for a long time, but I hit him up on social media because he is a professor. I'm going to mess up a lot of this, Bill, so if you're listening, feel free to correct us. Professor at the University of Minnesota, possibly. At a different university within the Twin Cities? Sure, I can't remember. And he's written books on and is a professor of urban geography and streets and the city of St. Paul. And he sent me some really good writing on 94 and how it came to be. And obviously I'm not going to bore everybody with 40 pages he sent me that I read, but this was a thing that was talked about in the 1920s, the highway post World War I, getting into World War II, where highways are going to be a thing. We're no more horse and buggies. Everybody's owning vehicles. Year over year, 10% more cars every year or whatever it was, and then especially after World War II. Highways were
the thing.
They were the thing, but the impetus was not vehicles getting around to big cities. It was more for tanks. They wanted to be able to like transport military. Like that was a big driving force behind highways.
Yeah, right. Because when you think about World War II, so it was a way to transport.
Yeah,
just in case, because after World War II, obviously we saw what happened in Europe. Is that if war ever came to our shores, we had to make sure that supply lines could get across this country because it's a huge fucking country.
Right.
So yeah, that's exactly why highways were built, interstate systems.
And then I want to talk about this dude. Did you come across this dude named George Herold?
No.
He was a city planner for St. Paul in like the 50s when they really started talking about this highway system, as well as in 1956, the United States passed the Federal Aid Highway Act, where basically they said, we're going to build highways and the federal government is going to pay for 90% of them. Locals only paying for 10%. Okay. So this is what really drove it. It was like, okay, now the city of St. Paul or whatever, Ramsey County or the governing authority was like, we're getting 90% of this shit paid for. This dude named George Herold, who was like 82 at the time, he's the city planner for St. Paul and historically was the city planner for St. Paul. He was the only one that was like, this is going to wreck a community. You need to go north of University.
He was the one that was pushing for the northern option.
He was the one that was pushing for the northern option.
Yeah, and they were like, fuck.
And he got drowned out.
Yeah.
And they were like, nope, we're putting it through Rondo.
Which I don't, I mean, even from a functional standpoint, I don't understand.
I read.
Is it because they got more money from the federal government to bulldoze houses?
No.
Like they had to buy that land. They had to buy the houses. Why not use the railroad?
It was all theoretical. It was all theoretical about ancillary traffic, I think. The northern path was going to create more traffic jams on secondary streets, I think.
That's bullshit.
I agree. But this dude, George Herold, 82-year-old, I don't know I guess I just assumed he was white because, he's an old man in the 50s and had a prestigious position within the city. But
yeah, probably.
Anyway, he was really kind of gung-ho for this northern option, and he was the only one saying, y'all don't understand what's going to happen to this community. And he was right. And now he's dead.
And he died for it.
Last week, he finally passed away at the age of 161. I also watched a documentary called The Brothers of Rondo, A Legacy of Black Resilience. It's like an hour-long documentary film. You could watch it on YouTube. It's stellar. It's these three dudes who grew up as kids in Rondo in the 50s, and it's basically they're just recounting and telling. This is recent, so they're old men now, but there's telling about their stories, but there's also like historical photos in there and video and stuff like that, which is great.
So there are a ton of resources and historical archives about Rondo. Macalester College, a couple professors did one history harvest where they went to the Haley Q. Brown Community Center and invited sort of all the people that remembered growing up in Rondo to bring family heirlooms and photographs and all this stuff that typically would be in like historic or like museums. Right. So the goal was their goal with this is to democratize history or democratize museums. So what they did is they took all these pictures and they digitized it and scanned it in. And then the links are out there again. If you go to rcodemn.org, rcodemn.org.
The letter R.
The letter R, like Rondo code. And on rcodemn.org, you are provided with 10 links to different story maps, the Hennepin County Library, the Haley Q. Brown Archives, the Macalester Digital Commons, which is where they digitize some of that stuff in the History Harvest, different digital catalogs and pictures talking about not only like what life was like within Rondo, before 94, but then detailing, documenting the project with different maps. Some of them red line maps, some of them just showing and documenting businesses throughout the Rondo community, the before and after. And so there's just a ton of information about Rondo. And then for anybody that wants to add to that body of information, it's a resource to get in there and add to the public body of work so that, the Twin Cities in general remembers the history of that neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not as well known as something like a Black Wall Street, right? Maybe because it's not as big. And maybe because the violence perpetrated was, albeit both government sponsored, one was instantaneous and firebombs, and one was the slow eminent domain process.
Yes.
But one of the organizations that they link to on the R-Code website is the Reconnect Rondo resources. And I don't know if you came across them at all, but basically they're the organization that's pushing to reconnect the two sides of 94 with a land bridge.
Yeah.
And for a while that it had some traction, and I feel like it's kind of gone away.
I think they call it an at-grade boulevard.
Yeah. I mean, on here, they're pictures of it.
Of like renderings of what it could be.
Of the renderings of what it would look like. They talk about it as a lot as rethinking I-94.
Yeah.
And they, a lot of it points to Boston and their efforts with the Big Dig, which buried the main highway that basically went through downtown Boston and just cut the city in two. And I can tell you, as my brother lived in Boston for 15, 20 years. And during the Big Dig, traffic was a nightmare. It was terrible. But post Big Dig, Boston is a way more livable city, way more connected. And I think it was absolutely the right thing to do for the future of the city, despite the costs and the setback.
That's 100% it, in my opinion. Now,
oh, and this gets into a lot of things.
Yeah.
Even the Summit Avenue Regional Trail and
sure.
Right? But yeah, I mean, feel free to talk
well,
about
I just was going to say, I think it's the Department of Transportation are the ones deciding it or something. Anyway, I don't really know much about the future plans of righting a wrong and making that stretch of 94, at least that stretch from Minneapolis to what is it?
So
Western?
it's different land bridges, right? So it's not like the whole thing would be buried. It's like they have one that spans half a mile from X Street to Y Street.
Yeah.
And then it's open.
Yeah,
And then it's
yeah.
just like different pathways, almost like when you go up north and you see when you're driving on, I don't know if you've ever been to the North Shore, like Grand Marais or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
when you're going on a highway and then you hit
like
a town and you lower your speed limit to 25.
No, I was saying like where you're like driving on a highway and then you see a bridge, but there's no street above it. It's just like a nature crossing bridge.
Yeah.
For animals.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think that would be great, and I think we're probably not going to do it, but I think in my opinion, we just need to find a way. Just make it work because it's righting a wrong, and it's going to be a pain in the ass for a long time to get it where it needs to be, but it's righting a historical wrong, and that's I don't know. That's you can run around with all the excuses you want,
sure,
but at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
What I worry about is, and again, this is not a reason not to do it,
and you can build more housing too.
Yeah, what I worry about is all of a sudden they go ahead and do that, and then they don't plan it correctly, and now it gentrifies and pushes out what's left of that community, right? And so it's like you try to right or wrong.
You're right.
And all of a sudden you get more, what was the word? What's the name of the episode?
Totally already left my brain.
Something fuck-ups.
Yeah. Litany of fuck-ups.
You get another round of a litany of fuck-ups that has more unintended consequences.
Correct.
And now all of Rondo is gone.
Which is gone. Like, so on a much smaller scale, like what what some of the city council members have tabled discussions about George Floyd Square, what to do with it, because they want to be thoughtful and they don't want to make the wrong choices, and they want to plan it right, and they want to execute it right and engineer it right. And this is obviously a much larger scale, but it's just to your same point, like you got to do it right.
You got to do it right.
Yeah.
And we were talking with Kalila last week, and she's talking about how a lot of the Hmong families benefited from the displacement of the African American community in Rondo. Right, so it's like different subsets of immigrant communities.
Single-family homes for immigrants.
Yeah, right. It's like North Minneapolis, man, were the Jews until because that's where they had to live, and then they had moved out because it was okay to go elsewhere, and then it was African American, and now it's East African, and the Karen, or you know what I mean. So it's like if they do it well. And they do it right, it could be really, really cool.
Hopefully in our kids' lifetime. I don't know if it'll
Massive undertaking, though.
Massive undertaking. Yeah. But you know what? So was that goddamn highway in the first place.
And to be fair, they fucking close 94 every summer all the time anyway, and traffic always sucks. So, like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many times are we going to rebuild fucking Bloomington 35 to Penn? How many times they rebuilt that shit in the last 20 years?
And you know me, I'm the world's biggest advocate for... If we're being progressive as a society in the future, we need to be less car-centric and more everything else. So this is just another brick in that wall, my friend.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Yeah.
There's a 10-minute and 14-second interview you can watch on YouTube that was done by TPT, a.k.a.
Should we link
Public
all this?
Television.
Send me the links to all this.
In 1991, KTCA did a little documentary, and it's just this woman who grew up in Rondo, and they follow her around, and it's 10 minutes. And this woman is captivating, just what she's talking about growing up in Rondo and what it is now. And it kind of ends with her like right next, she's like, they're interviewing her right next to the highway. And she was like, like this grass, like these weeds were my weeds, Anyway, it was 10 minutes only and it was an interview, but I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Rondo.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it was nice to do a deeper dive into it. And there are celebrations, right? Every year there's
Rondo Days.
Yep. Third Saturday in July.
Yeah.
And it's a street festival, man. It's good music. I mean, a lot of the things you hear about Rondo from people that live there is they remember the community and the music, right? Go fucking figure. Any place where like Black people live is going to have great fucking music and like good community.
Yeah.
And it's going to offend a whole bunch of weird ass white people that can't deal with that shit.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if we need to nick
Tale as old as time.
But it's like, of course. So why wouldn't the celebration of that community also highlight the continued great music that the African-American community brings to the Twin Cities?
Yeah, man.
So third Saturday in July, head down to Old Rondo Avenue. Does it take place on Old Rondo, kind of over by Central High School?
I think so.
And it's just kind of all over there. And that coincides again, like this has nothing to do with it, but to be in that part of the world, there's the Selby Avenue Jazz Fest in the summer. Like there's a lot of good stuff going on still in what was considered parts of that old Rondo neighborhood. In fact, probably right on the border of Rondo is one of the most up and coming areas that we have in St. Paul, with like where the Blair Arcade is.
Yeah, Selbydale, Selby Western.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like that's technically part of that community, and it's one of the most vibrant areas still in the cities. A little bit gentrified, that particular area, but like still pretty diverse in the streets around it. Like still diverse housing. Yeah, anywhere from like low income housing to upscale condos and $1 million Victorians. So it proves that the theory that like diverse housing, diverse communities can still be vibrant, extra cool, high property value areas where everybody can live and eat and shop, and it doesn't just have to be single family home or bust suburban style living.
Yes, sir.
And that's something else that the Twin Cities is having to grappled with and is continuing to grapple with the redevelopment of some of these communities, like Highland Bridge or other.
Yeah.
So, not to get off subject a little bit, but tie it back into the real estate adjacentness of it all.
Very loosely.
Yeah.
All right, Rondo. That was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else you want to talk about today? How about this week in Minnesota history?
Oh, sure. Let's do it.
This week in Minnesota. This week in Minnesota history.
We have a history-rich week in Minnesota history.
Well, we're starting with Rondo on the Rondo episode. It's a history episode.
It is a history episode. That's right. So, this week in Minnesota history.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the Halloween blizzard because we are in the week of Halloween.
It is.
So, we don't need to talk about that. It's been done to death.
Halloween, if you will.
Halloween, if you will. This week in Minnesota history, October 29th, 1971, Winona Ryder was born in Winona.
Can I tell you something?
First crush, Reality Bites?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You want to keep guessing?
You met Winona Ryder
No.
okay.
No. But some of our best friends, some of our very good friends. Shout
You
out
and your ex-girlfriend?
Yep. Shout out to Jensen's. Are Winona Ryder's cousin. They grew up.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. They go visit every once in a while. Great family. I don't know Winona, but the side of the family that I know, fantastic people. So I
Not
would
shoplifters.
Nope. Well, even if they are, I know some fantastic shoplifters. But I would imagine Winona's pretty fucking cool too.
She seems
For a Hollywood weirdo.
Yes. For a Holly weirdo.
Ooh.
She's cool.
Yeah.
She does seem super cool.
Yeah.
And she was one of my first crushes in Reality Bites in 1993.
Yeah.
I would have been 14. It doesn't matter. October 28th.
She's a little bit older. Maybe not.
She's 8 years older than me.
Oh, she's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 9.
old are you,
October
42?
28th. What?
41?
What?
40? How old are you?
I'm 46.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
October 28th, 1919, Congress passes the Volsted Act. Are you familiar with what that is and who it's named after?
I have heard the term quite often recently.
Well, it's synonymous with prohibition.
Mm-hmm.
They banned the booze.
That's right.
You know why?
Was that Minnesota history?
I'm getting there.
Okay, all right.
The prohibition of liquor sales nationwide was named after Andrew Volsted. He was a congressman that introduced the bill. And guess where he's from?
Fucking Stillwater.
I don't know. Somewhere in Minnesota. He was a congressman
Lakeville.
in the United States House of Representatives representing the great state of Minnesota. And this great country went dry for years, partially because of him. Some would say significantly because of him. Okay. This week in Minnesota history, October 26th, 1960, Kelvin Griffith.
So you're not doing this in any sort of particular order?
No.
Okay.
I'm just I found a whole bunch of stuff about what happened this week in Minnesota history.
Okay.
And I just picked out a couple of interesting things.
All right.
This is another one.
Okay.
October 26th, 1960, Calvin Griffith. Do you know that name? You probably don't.
I do not.
If you were born around
department
here,
store owner?
He's not.
Griffiths?
He's a name well known around here if you're of a certain age, especially older than me.
Okay.
In 1960, he decided to move his baseball team, the Senators from Washington, to become the Minnesota Twins.
Get out of here.
I shan't. And up until relatively recently, there was a statue of Calvin Griffith at the Metrodome or Target Field or whatever. Even though, listen, this is why a lot of people know Calvin Griffith. This is what he said tens of thousands of things that weren't great.
Was he like the Marge Schottenheimer of his era?
Marge Schott?
Was that Schott?
Yeah. Schottenheimer is the last name of an NFL head coach.
Yeah, I'm conflating.
He is Marge Schott.
Okay.
This is what he said about why he relocated the Washington Senators to become the Minnesota Twins. You ready?
Wait. Yeah.
Everybody sit down.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why we came to Minnesota, he said. It was when I found out you only had 15,000 blacks here.
Jesus Christ.
Black people don't go to ball games, but they'll fill up a wrestling ring and put up such a chant, it'll scare you to death.
A wrestling
It's unbelievable.
Ring.
We came here because you've got good, hardworking white people here. That was Calvin Griffith.
Good for Calvin.
He had a statue, man, up until recently.
Yeah, where they like, oh, by the way, we found this quote, and we think maybe we should take this old statue down, put it in a wrestling arena.
Old Calvin Griffith.
Oh, my God.
Holy cow.
Hey, man, I think if you got to pick the brains of a lot of people right now, maybe they would be on the same wavelength.
And they're becoming more... more open and comfortable. They're becoming more comfortable.
Yes, at least you know where they are.
Yeah. Last one. This day in Minnesota history, October 28th, 1990. This is another one you probably don't know about. I was 11 years old when this happened, but I remember it.
Okay.
But I didn't know about how bad it was until when I just read this yesterday.
The great stink of 1990?
Popular candidate. He was running for governor. His name's Jon Grunseth.
Okay.
You probably haven't heard of him.
No.
He withdrew from the gubernatorial race.
Why?
You want to know?
I mean, it's either racist or sex related.
Correct.
Yeah.
His campaign was destroyed, and he withdrew from running for governor. The election was obviously like the week later, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because he was accused by multiple credible sources of swimming in his swimming pool naked with his 12-year-old daughter and all of her friends.
Well, thank God he laid the groundwork so that we could have Donald Trump as our president.
I did not. I knew about
by the way,
the name.
Hey, release the Epstein files.
This motherfucker.
Release the files.
I had heard his name and I knew he was disgraced somehow.
What a pile of shit.
Dude, I had no idea it was that. Not only that, you know what else I read? A bunch of his, I can't remember if he was a Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. I'm sure he was Republican. Come at me. There was a bunch of other of his like-minded Republicans, if he was a Republican in the Minnesota Congress.
Sure.
Backed him up.
Of course they did, man.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
Oh, and you know what? He now lives, I believe, in New Zealand because he had to move halfway across the world because he was a gross pervert.
No offense to his children and their friends.
Yeah.
What the fuck? If my daughter was like, oh, by the way, Dad, today I swam with a naked old man in Marnie's house, I would be fucking right over at that dude's door, no matter how rich he was.
Yeah.
And my daughter wouldn't have been in the pool to begin with because
correct,
she's not a groomed.
No.
I don't know.
Anyway, this has been This Week in Minnesota History. I'm sorry to end on such
a gross ending to that.
Gross downer of an ending. Oh my God. I almost didn't go into it. I almost just said he was disgraced, but you hadn't heard of him, and I was like,
it's gross, man.
Gross.
It's gross. Release the Epstein files.
Release the Epstein
files. Hey. BooMTimeS?
Welcome to BooMTimeS, a segment called BooMTimeS, BooMTimeS.
BooMTiMES.
No, they know what it is.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
We could have one new listener out there that doesn't know what BooMTimeS is, and they're going to be lost at sea, in an abyss.
Books.
Movies. TV, music, sports. BooMTiMES. All capital letters. No vowels.
No vowels.
Nope. Don't do it.
Books.
Don't do it. What books?
Offensive and ornery books.
Often only movies, I thought.
Books, often only movies. TV. Interesting music. Extreme sports. We already did this. Extreme sports.
That's right. BooMTimeS. It's a segment at the end of every episode in which Casey and I, and possibly a guest, talk about what we've been consuming since we last recorded. Media, what we've liked, what we've not liked, what we want to pass on to the listeners that they might like.
Yeah.
What you got something.
I mean, the NBA is back.
The NBA is back. Our listeners don't care.
I know. I'm just shout out Tyrese Maxey, who will be the MVP of the league. Sixers are 4-0. Go Sixers. VJ Edgecombe, Rookie of the Year.
Number 77. He's got a great number.
That is a great number.
Yeah.
Dairyville.
Oh, my wife and daughter, my ex-girlfriend and daughter are watching that.
Trash. Terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's the stupidest first episode I've ever seen in my life.
Sounds good.
But The Chair Company.
I haven't watched the newest episode.
Where the hell is that going?
I've only watched 2 episodes.
Because 3, you're just your mind will be like, what is happening? What's going on?
Yeah, Tim Robinson is insane in the best, all the best ways.
Insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that
the
was
line that he had in the first episode and the way he delivered it, where he said, "I have the worst pillow in town," is I will be on my deathbed remembering and laughing at that.
It's reminding me a little bit with some of the ancillary characters of Eastbound and Down.
Okay.
A little bit. Like there's a Stevie. You remember Stevie?
Yeah, kind of the
Stevie?
portly.
Yeah.
Portly? Do people say portly?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Sure. They got one of those type of characters.
Interesting.
And some of the writing is devolving. So I'm not quite sure what to make of it. The third episode.
See, I didn't love Eastbound and Down though, but I love this.
But that's why the third episode has got me being like, do I love it anymore?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we'll see. We'll see where it shakes out.
I am reading a book.
You can read?
I can read. It's called Plundered. It talks about and I know we talk about this kind of stuff a lot, but it's vitally important in my opinion, especially related to real estate adjacent stuff, about how Black people have been screwed over in this country by 1,000 different things, but mortgage companies, local governments, to not be able to have a single family home. And they do it, this author, she does it through the microscope of Detroit and what Detroit has gone through since the early 20th century to today, and 2 examples of 2 families throughout that 100-year.
Sure.
One Italian immigrant white family, one Southern immigrant Black family, and in the context of the automobile industry and buying a single family home and affordability and redlining and what's the racial covenants and how it affects generations of people.
Yep.
And I'm about halfway through and it's really good and it's intense and I can only read about 4 pages at a time because it's intense, man.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And what else do I have?
Is it intense?
It is, but it's
really
not
good?
It's not a novel. I mean, it's
not a novel.
It's not a
It
novel.
is not fiction.
It's real.
Yeah.
What else do I got?
Stranger than fiction.
I've been listening to a lot of The Fall lately. Are you familiar with The Fall?
I'm guessing it's a white person's band that makes oddly danceable yet quirky music.
It's not danceable, but
No?
it's super quirky.
Okay.
They're from this dude, Marquis Smith, is the lead singer and main dude.
Are they
He's
from
dead
Ireland?
now. They're from England.
Okay.
And you're never going to listen to them and you wouldn't like it. And it's super weird. And it's from 40 years ago. And
Okay.
I've been listening to The Fall a lot and I love The Fall.
We got an open house coming up this weekend.
Casey and I are hosting an open house in South
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
Your neighborhood.
My neighborhood.
Yeah.
Steps from my front door.
Yeah.
A lot of steps, but still
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah, and a cute house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Hit us up on social media. Check it out.
Yeah, come by, party with us. We're throwing a house party in somebody else's house
Saturday afternoon.
Come join us. It's a rager.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place.